Username666, a disturbing viral video posted nearly a decade ago that's garnered almost 10 million views. Many of you may remember this as a fan-made video based around the popular creepypasta of the same name, but is it really all that simple? Today we discuss the actual origins of the video known as Username666 and explore Nana825763, the channel behind it. For those of you unfamiliar, creepypastas are the internet's urban legends. They come in countless shapes and forms, focusing on supernatural beings, lost media, and in many cases, the internet, technology, and curses. Username666 is one such creepypasta, possibly the most notable of its kind. The story recounts the experiences of an unnamed ex-YouTube employee who hears about an account that had been suspended for unspecified reasons. Curious, the employee tracks down the URL, youtube.com/666. Once the URL was typed in, the employee found nothing but a blank page and the usual red banner you see when a channel is either terminated or suspended. However, according to the user, upon refreshing the page, the channel had somehow appeared, and the more the page was refreshed, the more disturbing things became, eventually showing images of contorted infants and a drowning woman. The user did attempt to leave the page, but by that point it was too late. The images continued to play on their own until the user's computer crashed. Of course, it goes without saying that the story is completely made up and simply a product of digital urban legend, but perhaps what made it so intriguing to the masses is the fact that if you type in the aforementioned URL, you will in fact be brought to a suspended account belonging to one Username666. When creepypastas like this one begin making their rounds, it's not at all uncommon for fans to create their own versions of the media described within the story. Take, for example, suicidemouse.avi, a story about a Disney animation so disturbing that it drives whoever watches it to suicide. If you search this one up, then you'll be met with countless fan-made videos based around the fictional video described within the story. Because of this, many assume that the video, known as Username666, was simply created around the popular creepypasta, but it seems as though it may be the other way around. As many of you know, the channel behind the video Username666 is called Nana825763. It was created in September of 2006, debuting with a short 2-minute video titled Doll. The clip features nightmarish images set over a haunting musical soundtrack and would set the tone for the next decade of uploads coming from this channel. Nana825763 is honestly somewhat of an overlooked horror gem on YouTube, and also one that for the most part has been shrouded in mystery. Its themes often center on dolls, ants, and a variety of morbid imagery, much like those seen in Username666. Of course, the ambiguous nature of this channel conjures up endless amounts of questions. Who's behind it? Why do they create such disturbing material? And most of all, why? What does it all mean? For the last decade, the truth has remained mostly obscured to English-speaking audiences who have come across this channel. To understand Username666, we do need to understand the mind behind it. The channel is actually owned by a Japanese visual artist that goes by the pseudonym Piropito. Contrary to popular belief, Piropito is actually male, despite Nana being traditionally a female name in Japan. I spoke to Piropito via DM, and he confirmed this for himself, and also explained to me how he avoids giving his artwork any solid meaning or purpose, saying that he chooses to embrace chaos and nonsense. For the most part, Piropito is a very mysterious character, letting his work speak for itself and barely ever appearing on camera. The most we ever get to see of him is an occasional shot of his hands at work whenever he releases behind-the-scenes videos demonstrating how his creations are made. The only other thing we have available is Piropito's online diary. It seems ominous at first, but if you actually look into everything he's posting, it usually revolves around very normal things like cooking, gardening, gaming, and updates on any work he may be doing at the time. He mentioned a few times before releasing his videos how he was trying to achieve a blend between both creepy and cute aesthetics, and it goes without saying that he definitely succeeded. His blog also features regular updates about his hobby raising ants, which explains why ants are such a common theme throughout his body of work. If you dig deep enough, you'll even be able to find rare interviews of Piropito where he explains taking inspiration from films, paintings, and underground works. And he also explains how he's quite active around the film festival scene, with many of his dark animations being screened across Japan and parts of Europe. Curses are a very common theme throughout Japanese urban legends and horror films. Everyone's familiar with the concept of a video or VHS tape being used as a means to spread terror, especially after the wide success of films like Ringu. It only makes sense that in the digital age, such stories would be adapted to accommodate for the introduction of the internet. In the mid-2000s, such urban legends began heavily making their rounds on the Japanese web, most notably on text and forum sites. One such tale, SM666, involves an ominous page on the Japanese video sharing site Nico Nico, a page that when refreshed several times became the very embodiment of hell itself. This is where Piropito comes into the picture. On December 28, 2007, Piropito uploaded a video to Nico Nico called a cursed video on Nico Nico, originally created as an entry for an online film festival that was taking place that same year. In the video, we see the user go to nicovideo.jp/SM666 before refreshing the page several times, eventually discovering the madness that awaits. Just 2 months later, on February 28th of 2007, Piropito released a new version of the video, this time updated to fit YouTube's layout featuring the infamous youtube.com/666 URL, this time titling the video Username666, which replaced SM666. This version eventually blew up amongst international audiences who hadn't been exposed to the Nico Nico version since its users are primarily Japanese. Username666 had been thrust into the spotlight, quickly becoming one of the internet's most widely known urban legends and a hit amongst the English-speaking creepypasta community. If you aren't familiar with Nana825763 or Username666, then I highly suggest that you check out Piropito's channel and other content. It's definitely something worth taking a minute to look into if you're either a fan of Japanese-themed horror or creepy things in general.